Joel Embiid has had quite the month. Just last week, he became the only Sixer to score 50 in a game since Allen Iverson did that in 05. Embiid's meteoric rise has us wondering, Max, who do you think is the best big man in the league? Would you go Embiid or AD?
The answer is Joel Embiid. He's, at this moment, the best player in the league this season. That's why he's the front runner for MVP. Never mind the fact that he's averaging 30 and 11 with a block and a half and almost a steal and a half a game. That he's shooting 40% from three and taking a bunch of them. That he's shooting 85 from the line. All the numbers are there on offense, which is why he's leading the league in PER, why he's been the best offensive player in basketball this year. I think arguably he's also been the best defensive player in basketball this year. There's no answer for Joel Embiid. There's no answer for him anymore. He's hitting outside shots and he's posting up, and what can you possibly do? And he's really more of a true big man than anyone. Joel Embiid's the kind of big man whose game translates to any era, obviously including this one. Here's a shock for you, okay? Stephen A., listen to this. Do you know in history who's averaged the most points in history per 36 minutes for their career? Because Michael Jordan, of all retired players, is #1. Kobe Bryant's on the list, so is AD. Kevin Durant's high on the list. James Harden, all the guys you'd expect. But Jordan, of course, as you expect, #1. Points per 36 minutes for his career. When Joel Embiid dropped 50 the other day, guess who was #1 all-time career health? Points per 36 minutes. Joel Embiid. Just as a scorer, Stephen A., the dude is insane, and you know what? He's in shape this year. He's in shape. He's running the floor. He's defending, probably, I think, the best defender in the game. That's why he's the MVP right now. And right now, the best big man in basketball.
He is the best big man in basketball right now. He is the front runner for league MVP honors right now. No argument there because Kevin Durant's been out. And obviously, he was my choice up until then. But I will tell you this. You know where I'm going, resume. And I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to pick him over Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis just was fresh off of finals, averaging 27 and 9. In the postseason, throughout his career, he's averaged 29 and 11. Okay, this brother, this year right now, he's just shooting up like 29% from three-point range, so he was struggling. You know, you got a championship. Joel Embiid got swept in the first round of the playoffs. Anthony Davis stayed in that bubble for those 96 days and ultimately captured the championship, and then about 2 months later, had to come back and play. So we'll see as the season progressed, if he had stayed healthy, what would have happened. But in terms of their resume and Anthony Davis's versatility, it's not that Joel Embiid can't hit perimeter shots, because we know that he can. But I'm looking at Anthony Davis a little bit better. I think he's more active as a defender on the perimeter than even Joel Embiid is. And I know what he can do defensively in terms of blocking shots and rebounds. He can do just what Joel Embiid can do. So for me personally, for my money, I would look at Anthony Davis, and I would say that I would prefer him. Not right now. I understand that Joel Embiid right now looks like the best big man in basketball because he's the front runner for league MVP. He's been absolutely sensational this year, and he deserves all the credit in the world. No question about that. But if I had to pick between him and Anthony Davis, and both of them were at 100%, I would go with Anthony Davis.
Listen, I can't argue the resume point. Can't do it because Embiid came out with injury concerns, and they were well-founded.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about the 5 years he's played.
But I'm saying part of the question with Embiid, it's chicken or egg. Like, has he not been in shape, and that's one of the reasons for injury problems, like his back, forget about the leg? Or is it that because he is a giant and his body's more prone to that, that leads to a situation where he's not in as good a shape? I can't compare his career resume to AD. AD's been better over his career. But I can say that right now, Embiid is in shape. He's in the best shape I've seen him. And this is the fulfillment of the potential when he was originally drafted. Like, oh, my God. Stephen A., he's the only, if he can play like this, if he can sustain this, think of the perfect center. Has it really existed? I'm talking about a guy who could do everything. Not a slim power forward / center dude, but a guy who can bang down low, who's over 7 feet, who's big and strong, who's got by the way, who's a willing passer, who's unstoppable scoring inside and out, and who can really defend in the modern NBA, Embiid's the only one. He's the only one who checks every single box. Think of all the centers who've ever played who's checked every single box like this version of Embiid.
Yeah, give me a chance to respond. The point is that I think as a big man, there's no question about it. A big man, but when you look at today's game, unfortunately, they're all labeled big men. And so when you're talking about Joel Embiid, you're talking about that quintessential prototypical big boy. Back to the basket, put your backside on somebody, post them, take it to the hole, and finish the job. Yeah, that's Joel Embiid. But unfortunately, over the last several years, we've looked at the big man, and the big man position has evolved to a point now you could be like that slim, lanky, power forward that just happens to be playing the 5 and what have you. I'm looking at it from that perspective, and I'm saying the versatility of Anthony Davis out on the perimeter and what he's capable of doing in the interior and outside on the perimeter on both the offense and defensive side of the ball. I think I would give him the edge. But when you talk about that prototypical big man, back to the basket, drop step, be a man amongst boys, you're the big boy and you play that way, like Shaq loves to say. Joel Embiid clearly is that guy, no doubt about that.
As far as MVP conversation, Joel Embiid trails only LeBron James as best odds to win MVP this season. Max, I know he's your pick, so we shall see. When we come back, we got more hoops.